Wow, this sister coming hard at me. I'm gonna have to make another video concerning what she just posted. There are a lot of you women, and I'm only referring to the daughters of children of Israel, not Gentiles, only black women. She asked me, why am I so hard on the healthcare industry? And it was an honest and good question. She said, because we take care of the elderly and all of this other stuff. And she's right if your heart's in the right place. Now, by a woman's design and nature, that is what she's supposed to do. She's a caretaker. At home, though, not in no hospital. She was made to take care of her husband and tend to his needs first. And let's say my mother is old and elderly. Then she takes care of her mother-in-law and do those things for the family of her husband, not corporations established by our enemies, Satan's children. If you look at the healthcare industry sign, which is a cross, and it's a pole, a staff, okay? And it's got two snakes winding around it. That's the sign of the healthcare industry. That's blasphemy. It's taken out of scripture in the book of Exodus. When Yahuwah commanded Mashah, okay, let me give you the backdrop. We had rebelled as we usually do, and we had angered Yahuwah. And he sent poisonous snakes amongst us, and they were biting a lot of niggas and was killing them. And then they cried out unto Moses, and then Yahuwah commanded Moses to make a brazen snake and he said, take a staff, which is a straight rod. And he said, put them upon a staff. And he said, it will come to pass that when you lift it up, all who look upon it will be healed from the poisonous snakes. Okay, that was symbolic of Yahuwah being crucified on a stake. It wasn't no cross. He didn't command Moses to make a cross. He said, set him upon a stake or a staff. So you have a staff with a snake on it, made out of brass, the color of Yahuwah's skin, brazen. Okay, that means it was dark bronze as in a furnace. Okay, and he said, when you lift it up, and all who look upon it, almost like a worship. He said they will be cured of the venom of snakes. Okay. Now, who adopted that sign, the healthcare industry? They want you to look to them instead of Yahuwah. Now, don't get me wrong. I think in some cases, like emergency, your gunshot and things like that, the healthcare industry can serve some help. But ultimately, life and death resides in the hand of Yahuwah. That's 1 Samuel 2:6. He kills and makes alive. Okay? Even the doctor's hand, all things are under his control. So when you look to something else other than him, even going to the gym is an abomination. We didn't go to gyms. Even the Apostle Shaul said bodily exercise profits little, but living righteously benefits both this life and the one to come. So getting back to the healthcare industry, it's a known fact, sister. I'm talking to you directly. That the American healthcare industry and most of them are abominations. They've experimented on us above all people. And the government injecting syphilis into men, the medicines and the vaccinations. They committed abominations like they did before the floods. They sin against animals, and humans. And doing surgeries, they mix animal tissues with man, which is an abomination. That's not supposed to happen. Blood transfusions is against scripture because the life of the flesh is in the blood. You're not supposed to be mixing people's blood. And if you know about those things, see in your ignorance, you don't know this. Blood is sacred. There can be no remissions of sins without the blood. The life of the flesh is in the blood. Also, the Ruach resides in the blood. That's why when Moses read the law, he took, I believe it was hyssop, and dipped it in the basins, which was the blood of lambs and oxen, and he sprinkled it both on the books and the people. And that was symbolic of Yahuwah shedding his divine blood. So you have to understand the abominations that the healthcare industry do. What do you do when they die? They press you to sign a piece of paper to give up your body parts. The body is sacred. It will be resurrected in the resurrection. I don't care if you cremated. Wherever your dust was scattered, Yahuwah is so great and awesome that your molecules of dust still reside in the atmosphere. They will be brought back together, but you will have a new and glorified body. Some of us. And then if you're cursed in the second judgment, which is the second death, you will be cursed to an eternity of torments. You will have a body. A lot of folks say this flesh ain't going with you in the next life. It is, but it will be transformed. It won't be a flesh that will perish. It will be an eternal body. That means if you go to judgment and you're in a lake of fire, you're going to be there for an eternity. You can't, it's hard to even fathom an eternity. So keep that in mind. You're being taught, sister, the ways of the heathen. Doctors take an oath called the Hippocratic Oath. Some call it the Hypocritic Oath unto a false deity. We swore an oath unto Yahuwah in Exodus that bound all of us, both there and those of us who was not born yet. We're not supposed to swear any other oaths outside of that. So remember again, the Hebrew word for worship, which is abad, is dual for, it has two meanings. It means to worship and work for. So therefore you worship who you work for. You don't worship Yahuwah. You worship the healthcare industry when you're supposed to worship and work for and serve man. And man is supposed to worship and work for and serve Yahuwah. That's how that works. I hope you understand this. I mean, there are so many abominations I don't even have time to go into. The healthcare industry uses the aborted fetuses, which is child sacrifice. They take stem cells out of them and experiment. It tells you in the book of Enoch that the children of the fallen ones, the children of the fallen angels, did these abominations to provoke Yahuwah. Selective breeding of dogs. Some of you got dogs that ain't what Yahuwah created. They're selective breeding, just like a mule. Yahuwah didn't create a mule. They took the sperm of I think it's a donkey and a horse. That's what the fallen angels did. They took what Yahuwah's created. That's why it said in Noah's day, all flesh had become corrupted. Why? Because the fallen angels was doing shit like that. Making a giraffe mate with a dog. The seed is everything Yahuwah created after its own kind. And he put in them their natural ability to reproduce after its own kind. That's why he told Noah to take two of every male and a female of every species into the ark so that they can keep seed. The seed is contained in the man or the males. The females bring it forth. And he told them to take 7 of every clean animal. Okay? So, yeah, when you see all these new dogs, the pug nose and all, those are abominations. Back in the day, the righteous would pull a sword out and destroy it. And the abominations were even more in Noah's day. They had half man, half horses. Those were real things. And the fallen angels had sex with everything. It wasn't just women. They were screwing animals. They sinned against animals. They had half mermaids and things like that were real. And the Nephilim and giants. Those things actually existed in the earth. It tells you about Zepho. Zepho is written in the book of Yasha, possibly the Bible, where he had lost a lamb and he heard the lamb between some rocks in the cleft. And he went in there and there was a half man, half animal. I think he was an animal from the waist up and a man he was an animal from the waist down and a man from the waist up. And it says Zepho slew his sword and killed that motherfucker because he knew it was an abomination. Now, Zepho was like a grandson of Esau. Okay, so you should know these things because in your ignorance and deceit, you're serving the enemy, Satan. Satan literally means the enemy. See, so it takes someone like me to I don't know. Only the Ruach and the Lamb opened your eyes because I can talk to some people and they'll never receive it. But I'm here to speak the truth to you. And if your heart is right, the Lamb will open your eyes and cause you to understand these things in heaven. So I hope I answered your question. You were created and designed to serve a man like me, in my household. Honey, my mom is getting old. I need you to go take care of her. And if you can't do it, I'll find another wife, maybe Bithia or Lithia or something like that. That's the way that worked. I had wives and concubines. I didn't address concubines in another video. A concubine is a lesser wife. She's basically but she's a tool. She's also faithful to one husband, which is more than a concubine. Yesterday's concubines are more righteous than today's women. She still followed orders. And if you were busy taking care of other things, maybe some of my sons and daughters, or if you had other chores to do, I would find another wife or a concubine to do it. That's how Yahuwah ordered it. And that's the way it was originally meant to be. And it's still meant to be that way. See, your eyes aren't open to sin until you know the law of Yahuwah. And then you look around and see how fucked up shit is. That's how that works. A man is like an employer of not just his household. I could hire servants of my own people. Let's say some of us around us are poor. They can come work to me, but a Hebrew servant only works for 6 years. I can employ him, pay him, and he will benefit and I will benefit. And I can, let's say I got some virgin daughters and he like one of my daughters, I can give him a daughter, to take. But there's laws concerning that. But at the end of 6 years, he either has to renew his contract or he goes out and he can go work for someone else. See, none of this is taught in the abomination called the church. Wisdom crieth in the streets. I'm a street nigga. I ain't up in no church. I was born in Gary, raised in Gary. Raised in the hood. I know a lot of hood niggas. And just because a person is hood don't mean they don't have wisdom. There's more wisdom in the hood than there is in Wall Street and in the high places of this wicked land. It's called street knowledge, street wisdom. That's where all the prophets came from, rough places. Yahushua came from Nazareth, a poor, broken down city like Gary. So I hope I answered your question. I try to keep them under 10 minutes. I may have went off on some tangents. My apologies. Peace be with you. Shalom.